Praise the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Peace to everybody that's here in the name of Jesus. Peace to everybody tuned in on the internet. And also, if you happen to be watching on TV and also on the phone line, we're glad that you are with us. And we're going to get right into the lesson. We're going to talk a little bit about love, a different type of love, because a lot of people have gotten away from God's holy law. The Bible says holy, just, and good. And a lot of people have been taught that you don't need the law anymore. And some even come up with a theory. They say, well, we under the law of love, and that's all we got to do. And that let me know they really don't understand love, because we always been under the law of love. God didn't command us to love one another in the New Testament. God commanded us to love from day one. He commanded us to love. Love is spelled out in his law. Even in the beginning, Cain knew he should have had some love for Cain, because when he killed him, he tried to hide the fact that he killed him. That lets you know he knew, because if he didn't know that he was supposed to behave differently, he wouldn't even try to hide it. So love has been around from the beginning, but people use little cliches to try to get around God's law, and that's the way it's always been. That shows you about love. But now, not only that, we look at love as some mushy. Even the love that people talk about nowadays, they look at it as some mushy, Philly stuff. And again, don't think you got to keep God's commandments, and then make you think that, even if you operating in love, like people can just do anything to you and you shouldn't say nothing to you. No, that's not the proper love. See, God got something what we would call tough love. Well, God got that throughout the whole Bible. So that's what the lesson is about today. The Bible's tough love. And the Lord is letting you know that, you don't have to be calling yourself operating in some mushy love. They make you think that's all you got to do is just kind of be nice and smiling. Where it might not be the occasion for smiling. That's what the Bible say. The Bible says it's a time for everything. The Bible even says it's a time to embrace, and it's a time to refrain from embracing. So it's a time for everything. And that's what we need to understand. We're going to start off in Romans the 13th chapter, though, because we're going to show you that you can't get away from God's holy law under the guise of some new brand of love. No, God has spelled out love. Romans 13 and verse 8. Go ahead, my brother.
Owe no man anything but to love one another.
Mm-hmm.
For he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law.
Okay, so he said, owe no man anything but to love one another. So now this is in the New Testament, but he gonna let you know this love that he talking about is not something new. It go all the way back. That's what he's telling you here. He said, for he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law. So you are operating in the law if you operating in true love according to the Bible. You operating in the law. You fulfilling the law. Why? Because the law spells out how to love, brothers and sisters. You can't operate in love and don't keep God's law. You're not operating in love. Go ahead, verse 9.
For this, thou shalt not commit adultery.
Notice he take you straight back to God's commandments. Straight back to God's commandments. This is love here. Why? Because if I can say all day I love my brother right here, but if I try to sneak in the back door and lay with his wife, that's not love. So he said, he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law. For this thou shalt not commit adultery. See, he's showing you how to love. And this comes straight from the Ten Commandments. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not kill.
Thou shalt not kill. That's love. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not steal.
Uh-huh.
Thou shalt not bear false witness.
That's love, because you won't do nothing to your neighbor that's going to hurt him. Not even lie on him. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not covet.
Uh-huh.
And if there be any other commandment, it is briefly comprehended is this, saying, namely, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
See, that sums it all up. That's love in a nutshell when it comes to your neighbor. Now, you got the first great commandment, because this is the second great commandment, love your neighbor as yourself. The first great commandment is love the Lord with all your heart, soul, and mind. If you're operating in that great commandment, the greatest of them all, you can't forget that, then you won't break none of the commandments that pertain to him. You won't have no gods before him. You won't take his name in vain. You won't make graven images and bow down to him. You won't break his Sabbath day. And you even honor your mother and father for respect for God, because he told you to do that. But now, this is showing you how to love. That's why he said it's summed up, it's briefly comprehended. If any other commandment, because there are other commandments, brothers and sisters, outside of the 10 Commandments, but it's summed, all of them are summed up in loving your neighbor as yourself. Go ahead, verse 10.
Love worketh no ill to his neighbor.
Uh-huh.
Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law.
Therefore, love is fulfilling the law. It's not doing away with the law. You don't have no new brand of love and we can do away with the law. It do not work like that. Let's go further. Go to Leviticus 19. Leviticus 19, because we're going to see exactly where he got that from, but we're going to get into another avenue of love that people don't even come close to wanting to deal with, and that is what we just going to call tough love. Because people make you think, oh, love is mushy. Like, that don't mean somebody do something wrong and you can't say nothing to them because you operating in love. No, the Lord show you how to handle all things. Leviticus 19 and verse 18. Leviticus 19 and verse 18. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Uh-huh.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself.
Okay, so that's where Romans got this from back here. It was already written in the Old Testament. So again, Paul didn't give you no new brand of love. Like I've heard people actually say that. You tell them, well, you need to keep God's commandments. You need to keep his laws and his statutes. Oh, no, we under the commandment of love now. No, you've been under the commandment of love. And if you understand that, you will keep the commandments. You will keep his law. Like we just saw, he said, for this, if you're going to operate in love according to the Bible guidelines, for this you won't commit adultery, you won't kill, you won't steal, and all of those things. That's love. So, and he summed it up. He said, if there's any other commandment, we can just sum it up by this. Love your neighbor as yourself. See, that says it all, brothers and sisters, when it comes to loving one another. But this is in the law. This wasn't nothing that started in the New Testament. He said right here, verse 18, thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord, he said. So you're not going to try to take vengeance. You're not going to be trying to pay people back, even if they done wrong. But you're going to love your neighbor as yourself. You're going to put yourself in his shoes. But again, people still get some of this twisted. That does not mean at all that you don't, people do wrong and you can't say nothing. Well, I'm loving, so they just, just keep kicking me in the butt because, I got to love you. No, you can address things. And as a matter of fact, you need to address things out of love. You need to do that. And a lot of times, see, this is what people don't understand. Even when somebody is out of order or wrong, sometimes we will get caught up on what he said here about bearing grudges. We won't say nothing, but we'll be mad at somebody. No, you're not operating in love if you do that. You won't address it. You would just walk around mad at your brother. This is what he's telling you not to do. And then if you address it, you done flew off the handle and did things that you said, things that you shouldn't have did. Whereas if you was going to handle it according to the Bible love, you would address it in the first place. That's why they said, thou shalt not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people, but thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. I am the Lord. But what else? Back up now, read that verse before that, because he showed you how to love your neighbor as yourself. Verse 17.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
See, again, he's telling you to operate in love way back here. So love is not something in the New Testament that came up that we walking in and get us away from keeping the law. No, love is in the law. That's what he told you in Romans 13. He said, for he that loveth hath fulfilled the law. What law? Because it's already spelled out here in the law. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. See, that's what we would do. See, we good for this instead of being up front like the Lord have us do and address things properly. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart. Go ahead.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
See, now he said this is what you need to be able to do. Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. See, even when it comes to, this is what I'm talking about, kind of tough love. You have to be able to address things. You know, because a lot of times, again, we might think love means just ignore something. Now, if it's something wrong, that don't mean you just start making stuff up to address. But if it's something wrong, out of love, and this is tough love, you need to address it. This is what the Lord commanded you. And see, this is not a lot of people, might not be a lot of people's natural makeup, but this is what the Lord is telling you according to the Spirit. See, naturally, my thing is personally, if you want to act a fool, I'll just let you keep acting a fool as long as you keep your foolishness over there. That's the way I am personally. But see, according to the word, spiritually, the Lord showed me I can't be like that. The Lord showed me that, hey, if it's something wrong and you know it, then you need to address it. And that way, not for your sake. See, this is what a lot of people, they get into arguments and fight with people because they done something wrong to them and they didn't say nothing in the first place. Didn't say nothing. They done something wrong. Then they do something wrong again. Then you lose your mind and fly off the handle. Now you wrong. Whereas if you would have handled it the Lord's way, you could have just addressed it in a godly manner in the first place. And again, what people don't realize, you're not addressing it because you so mad and you so upset. Really, brothers and sisters, it's not even about you. You addressing it out of love for the other person. This is what he's saying right here. Even though, you know, somebody might offended you and you might be mad, you don't address it because of that. What he say right here at verse 17? Read that again. We're in Leviticus 19 and verse 17. See, this is the Bible's tough love. That people, we supposed to be so wise, but we don't even operate in this. People want to talk about love, but they think that's mushy and, you know, huggy, kissy kind of love. Now, love is saying, look, you messed up. You need to get that straight. That's love too. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart.
Don't hate your brother in your heart. Go ahead.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him.
See, he said, don't hate your brother in your heart. So this won't let you get off into hating. What's going to stop you from hating? Because if it's really genuinely something wrong, the Lord is saying deal. Now, it got to be something wrong now. Because sometimes it can be something wrong with you. And then that's the time to keep your mouth shut and figure out what's wrong with you. I had people come tell me stuff like that. I had people come tell me, say, you know, brother, I got a problem. Okay, what's the problem? I don't know. But it's something. Look, keep that foolishness to yourself. That don't make no sense at all. It's something, I ain't figured it out yet, but something not right. Well, you wait till you figure out what's not right to deal with that. You can't deal with nothing you don't know. So, But, so that's why I said it need to be really something wrong. But if it's something wrong, you need to deal with it, because other than that, you will be out like, see, actually the Lord is talking to the one that might be getting offended in this case. And out of love for your brother, you must tell him that he's wrong, not to help yourself and make you feel bad. Oh, I got to get this off my chest, brother. No, it's not even about you. That's what he said. Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Thou shalt in any wise, this is what you need to do instead of hating him in your heart, rebuke your neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. You trying to help him. It's out of love, but this is what you call tough love. See, a lot of times we don't want to be bothered. We don't want to deal with no confrontation. And people are really, especially nowadays, people are real defensive. You can't hardly say nothing to somebody nowadays because, we kind of act like we don't even do nothing wrong. I ain't did nothing wrong. You can't be telling me nothing. No, you can do something wrong. We all could do something wrong. I kind of had that attitude when I was driving the truck. I was driving the truck, and I was always trying to maneuver around my supervisor. Like I make a mistake, but I don't want to tell him I made a mistake. Don't even be no big deal. And I'm trying to serve God, so I ain't gonna straight up lie, but I ain't just gonna tell the whole story. He gonna come. Well, what happened? What happened with that trail over there? Oh, that's the one you told me to get. I'm gonna play dumb, whatever. Look, and then I realized, look, I'm putting too much into this. It ain't like I can't make no mistake. And it wasn't even a big deal a lot of time, but I'm trying to cover it up like I hadn't made no mistake. I didn't pull the wrong trailer or whatever it is. Finally, I realized I'm just too much stress on me, even trying to worry about maneuvering. Finally, Don, I said, man, you are tripping. Said something to me one day. I said, oh, yeah, I messed up, my fault. And then that was the end of it. So that's what we had to learn. We had to be able to take some correction, knowing, that we gonna mess up. We capable of messing up. So, but that's why a lot of times people don't want to say nothing to somebody because they know people don't receive correction well, but that's exactly what we need to receive. That's what he said, you shall in any wise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. So it don't matter whether your neighbor receive it or not. You tell him in a humble way that he did something wrong, then you have done your job. Now it's up to him whether he receive it. You have did your part. But that's why the title is Tough Love. The Bible's Tough Love. Go to Ecclesiastes 7. And if you wise, you will receive tough love. You will receive correction if you wise. Because that's going to make you better and get you out of trouble. Ecclesiastes 7. But it's hard to tell people anything nowadays because I ain't did nothing wrong. No, it wasn't me. Well, we got you on video. No, that wasn't me. Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 5. Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 5. Go ahead, read that one verse. Go ahead.
It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools.
See, now notice what he said. Now we just read. He said your duty is instead of getting off into hating your brother, even if your brother mess up, because everybody make mistakes, just like you make a mistake, your brother or your sister can make a mistake. Too many people hold grudges about stuff, and then half the time haven't even addressed it properly. But they mad at somebody else and haven't even addressed it. You out of line when you do that. So that's why he said, don't bear no grudge, don't hate your brother in your heart. But what you need to do, if there's a problem, address it in a godly manner. You shall in any wise rebuke your neighbor. And again, it's for his sake. It's to get him or her straight so they don't continue to do wrong or to get caught up in sin. And if they wise, he said right here, it is better to hear the rebuke of the wise. See, this is better for us. This is better for, see, we look at somebody love us We look at it one-sided. Well, you only love me if you tell me nice, cuddly stuff. If you tell me how good I am. Oh, you did so good, brother. Oh, that person loved me. No. They might be lying to you. But this is love as well. Matter of fact, it's better, he said, right? He said it's better to hear the rebuke of the wise. That's better than for a man to hear the song of fools. You sitting there listening to a song sound good to you, you'll be bopping your head to that, but somebody tell you that, yeah, you know, you messed up over there, you shouldn't have did that, that's a problem. You don't want to bop your head to that. You want to, nah, that turned into a fight. But that's a problem because you can't stand correction if that's the case. But now, go to Psalm 141. Psalm 141. Psalm 141. See, the Lord got tough love. See, the Lord is a parent, and just like a parent would give their children tough love, you know, chastise them, whoop them when they do wrong, punish them when they do wrong, not because they hate them, but because they want them to be corrected. Well, we know that's how the Lord is. The Lord said every son he got, he scourged it, and he chastised. But that's to make you better. Psalm 141. Psalm 141. So, but everybody needs to be a little more humble because ain't nobody, none of us walking around here perfect and can't make a mistake. We're going to pick it up at verse 5. 141 and verse 5. And then we're going to read verse 4. Go ahead.
Let the righteous smite me. It shall be a kindness. And let him reprove me. It shall be an excellent oil, which shall not break my head. For yet my prayer also shall be in their calamity.
See, this is the mindset we need to have, that, look, we need to be corrected. That's going to help us. So he said, this is the mindset he had. He said, let the righteous smite me. It shall be a kind. Now, he talking about getting smitten, but it could be smitten with some words. It could be smitten with some words. It can be told you was out of line or you made a mistake. Nothing wrong with that. And even if, you know, at times in the Bible, you know, people got physically smitten, but that was for correction. That was for the betterment. In other words, that was out of love. See, this is all love here. I'm just trying to show you that what we look at love is this mushy stuff. That's how the world got it now. They done away with the law. The law don't mean nothing. We can go to church on any day. You know, we don't have to keep the law. We can go to church on any day, and our love is just this mushy stuff. No law, no correction, no reproof, no rebuke. You know, we even got it, the term that I put in this lesson, but we don't think it should be in the Bible, tough love. Well, the Lord got tough love throughout the whole Bible because the Lord wants you to get on the right page. So that's why he said here, let the righteous smite me. It shall be a kindness. See, this is the way we need to look at it. And I ain't lying. I know a brother, and I've been knowing him for years. I ain't going to call his name now. But he actually told me this. Because I've been knowing this brother about 30 years. And we seen a lot of brothers come and go with the word. Been in the word before us. Talking crazy, got away from obeying God, talking real crazy. And this brother told me, he ain't listening now because he doing some teaching now. You might know who he is. But he told me, he said, Elijah, if you ever see me tripping like so-and-so, come smack the mess out of me. That's what he told me. I keep reminding him every night, and I said, boy, don't let me come over there and smack you now. But that's exactly what he told me. He said, I ain't lying. Come smack the mess out of me. He said, I don't care if people around. He said, me and you going to know what it's about. He said, they're going to be looking, why Elijah smack him like that? But me and you going to know. But that's a good point, because this is what he's saying right here, right? He's saying, let the righteous smite me. It shall be a kindness. And let him reprove me, correct me, help me get straight. It shall be an excellent oil. But see, we look at it just the opposite. Somebody trying to correct us, we don't want to have none of it. Like we can't be doing nothing wrong. We don't want none of that. That's what the Lord say in Proverbs 1. He said, you would none of my reproof. Everything I'm telling you, and that's how people are nowadays when it comes to the word of God. We believe in a bunch of fables, and you try to tell somebody the word of God, they don't want none of that. They want to keep on going with the lie. They want to keep on going with false teaching and paganism. They don't want to receive correction. And they say, oh, well, see, you talking about it. No, this is the love you think you know about. We trying to put some on you. We giving you some tough love. We trying to tell you wrong. This is what he said. Let the righteous smite me, it shall be a kindness, and let him reprove me, it shall be an excellent oil, which shall not break my head. It's not going to kill you, for yet my prayer also shall be in their calamity. But back up and read verse 4, because this is the goal. If your goal is to be right with God, then you will learn to accept some correction. Go ahead.
Incline not my heart to any evil thing.
Any evil thing. See, this is the prophet. This is the goal right here, is to be right with God. So that's why when you get to verse 5, he said, let the righteous smite me. Incline not mine heart to any evil thing, because he's trying to do right. Go ahead.
To practice wicked works with men that work iniquity. And let me not eat of their dainties.
See, and let me not eat of their dainties. That's just like he said in Proverbs. He said, look, if you sit before a king, that's what some people get out their league, and they getting some of these, they want to be big time. And then it's a lot of times a price come with being big time in certain circles. That's why he said, if you sit with a king, hey, the king can set you up. He can be wicked. He set you up. He said, offer you something, you take it. And hey, now he done bought you. And it's going to be a price to pay if you don't fulfill your end. So he said, if you sit with a king and you a man given an appetite, you might as well put his knife to your throat, because you could be setting yourself up. So that's what he's saying here. He said, let me not eat of their dainties. In other words, don't let me go along with the wicked no kind of way. For nothing that they got, don't let me go along with the wicked. Keep me in line with your righteousness, with your law. And that's when you get to verse 5. He said, let the righteous smite me. See, whatever it takes. But now go to 2 Timothy 4. 2 Timothy 4, all the way in the New Testament. See, but this is love. Because the Lord said, instead of hating your brother, rebuke him. Tell him when something is wrong. Therefore, you saving yourself, because now you're not walking around mad and hating, and you giving him a chance to not stay in sin, and he can be corrected. See, again, a lot of times when we call ourselves correcting people, it's because we just got so mad, we got to tell them about themselves. That's not what the Lord talking about. Because if you serving God, whatever go on, even if somebody doing you wrong, if you serving God, you should know, hey, God going to take care of that. And you going to be okay as long as you serving God. So your objective when you correcting somebody is not to get something off your chest. It's to put something on them to help them. 2 Timothy 4, and we're going to start at verse 1. 2 Timothy 4 and verse 1. Okay, go ahead.
I charge thee therefore before God and the Lord Jesus Christ, who shall judge the quick and the dead at his appearing and his kingdom.
See, he's given a charge, but the charge is before the Lord, the Father and the Son. And when Jesus come back, he's going to judge the living and the dead. That lets you know nothing is going to happen until he come back. People act like somebody die and go to heaven. No, you die and go wherever they put you at until the Lord come back and judge the living and the dead. That's the quick and the dead. That's what he said, at his appearing and his kingdom. And again, people don't even know that simple stuff. And you try to correct people on that. Look, you're not going to heaven. The kingdom going to be on earth. You're not going nowhere when you die but to the grave and wait on the resurrection. Oh, no. People don't want to listen. They know it all, but they believing in a lie. They believing in a fable. He's going to tell you that here. So, but again, people think we trying to take something from them or take their religion from them. No, that's love. The love that they think they know. Somebody is trying to exhibit it when you tell them that they are out of line with the Lord. Go ahead. Verse 2.
Preach the word.
Preach the word, he's telling them. Go ahead.
Be instant in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine.
See, don't nobody tell you about this. Now, he said, he's telling the brother to preach the word and be prepared all the time, in season, out of season. Because sometimes you might not think it's time to preach. It could be time. And then he said, what we've been talking about all along, this is that tough love. He said, reprove. That's some correction. Rebuke, that's straight up some correction, right? Exhort, see, whatever is necessary with all long suffering and doctrine. But if he's telling us to do that, that means it's going to be, some of this is going to be needful across the board to somebody. One person over here might need to be exhorted, but one person over here might need to be rebuked because they out of line. But too many times I've showed people things out the Bible, rebuked them. They believe something else, and they don't care to take heed to it. It's like it go in one end out the other. Especially, but they show you that's where pride come in at. That's why the Lord say, pride goeth before a fall. That's where pride come in, because they've been arguing. They thought they knew something. And then we get into it with the word and show them from the word that, no, you don't know. That's not right what you saying. You didn't know what you thought you know. Well, that's okay. I'm saved anyway. And then want to run and talk about something else. Well, what about this over here? Now, first admit that you're wrong right here. And if you at least admit that, then you might have a humble enough spirit to realize, yeah, you're right. I was wrong, and I could be wrong somewhere else. But see, that's just pride. You don't even want to admit that you're wrong when clearly you see you're wrong. But you say, well, what about this? No, what about what you just was running your mouth about? You were wrong. But people hate to be showed that they wrong. That show you we living in the last days. Everybody is like the Bible said. He said in 1 Timothy 3, proud. The chapter before this, 2 Timothy 3, proud, boasters, just full of pride, heady, high-minded. Can't tell them nothing. So that's what he's saying. Preach the word, be instant in season, out of season, reprove, rebuke. See, the same rebuke that he was saying in Leviticus, he's saying do the same thing, but this is love right here. People don't realize this is love. This is the best love you can get, but we look at love as just some nice, what we would call kind words. That has its place, but sometimes that's not what we need. Reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering. That means you patient and you not cursing nobody out and snapping on nobody because you not nobody either. So you long suffering and you got doctrine. Why does he say all of that? Verse 3.
For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine.
See, this show you, boy, Paul knew that it was going to get worse. It was going to get out of hand. That lets you know it wasn't that bad with him. Or else he wouldn't have had to say the time will come. He ran into a lot of obstacles and had people rejecting what he was preaching, but obviously he knew it was going to get terrible. That's why he told you again in the chapter before this, he said in the last days, perilous times shall come. He knew it was going to get terrible. That's why he said here, the time will come. That means it wasn't there yet, that time, right? The time will come. What time will come? When they won't endure just simple sound doctrine. You know, Jesus was not born on December 25th. People can't understand that. You tell people Christmas don't have nothing to do with Jesus, they be upset. I'll never forget, we had a TV program about Christmas, how it was false, don't have nothing to do with the Lord. Lady called, didn't nobody answer the phone. She left a message. You on there talking about Christmas. Christmas is good. Anything that make people feel good is good. You talking about. I wanted to call her back bad and say, look, lady, crackers make people feel good. Crack make people feel real good. That don't mean it's good. But that's the idea she had in her head. But she couldn't receive no rebuke on that. But this is what Paul is saying. Read it again, verse 3. What time is coming?
For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine.
See, Paul knew it was coming, and we can say for sure that it's here. The time will come when they won't endure sound doctrine. That's why everything is out of whack now. The Sabbath day, clear in the Bible. I can read it to you all over the Bible. 7th day, never been changed to the first day. You listen to what Rome gave you and say that it changed to the first day, and then so everybody fall in line with that. But sound doctrine from the Holy Bible says the 7th day. That's what your Bible say. Never does it say it changed to the first day. Then people get real smart. You try to correct them on that, they say, oh, no, it don't matter. Any day is a Sabbath day. Now, they just making it up as they go then because they don't have nothing to stand on. Going to heaven when the Lord said the kingdom is going to come to this earth. That's sound doctrine, but we believe something else. But Paul knew everything that's in the word. And the most important thing is what we're dealing with, how love is keeping God's law. And even when people getting outside of God's law and commandments, love is helping them get back in line with it. Love is telling them they wrong when they outside of that. People don't want to accept that as love. Oh, we need to just all get along. You can do your way. I can do my way. That is a lie. See, but that's a little rebuke. People don't want to take that. But take it or leave it. So he said the time will come they will not endure sound doctrine, but what they going to do?
But after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers, having itching ears.
See, they going to heap to themselves. They want it the way they want it. They going to get some preacher to tell them what they want to hear. Even you got churches that hire the preacher. If the preacher don't talk the way they want to talk, then they won't even hire him. That shows you that's a bad position to be in if you're a preacher, because you're supposed to be working for God, but now you actually working for the people that hired you. So you ain't going to tell them what God say. You're going to tell them so you can keep getting that paycheck. See, that's why we got it good here. We ain't worried about no paycheck. But go ahead, verse 4.
And they shall turn away their ears from the truth.
And turn away their ears. Paul knew it was coming. And he warning us in advance. And he's letting it be known that we need to be prepared to fight against this and even try to correct people that's caught up in the matrix, so to speak. That's why he said reprove, rebuke, exhort. He said they shall turn away their ears from the truth and what?
And shall be turned unto fables.
And shall be turned unto fables. This is exactly the way it is nowadays. And it's hard for people to believe that they've been believing in a fable because they don't want no rebuke. They don't want no correction. But we're going to give it to you anyway. And if you don't accept it, that's going to be on you. That's going to be a witness against you when the Lord come back and judge you. Deuteronomy 22. We're going to go back to the old days. We're going to look at some old-fashioned tough love. And we're going to bring it back up to our day and show you that nothing has changed. Maybe some of the technique has changed, but it's the same old principle. That's what it is. Because the Lord don't change. He don't change. So what's wrong is wrong. What's wrong 1,000 years ago is wrong now, and it still needs some correction now. Deuteronomy 22 and verse 13. Like the brother said in Psalm, he said, let the righteous smite me. That should be kindness. So he was smart enough to know if he getting it from somebody righteous, look, that's good. That's a blessing for me. That's kindness if he smite me, because that's going to benefit me. That's if he righteous. Deuteronomy 22 and 13. Go ahead.
If any man take a wife and go into her and hate her and give occasion of speech against her and bring up an evil name upon her and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid. Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity until the elders of the city in the gate. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hated her.
Okay, so now this is a marriage. The man that married the woman, and as happens a lot of times nowadays, men can marry a woman and then or lay with a woman, because sometimes, a lot of times, most of the time nowadays, they don't even get to being married. They sleep together, and then all of a sudden the man hate her. That happened in the Bible too. The man hate her, don't want to be bothered with her. But see, they had a lot of guidelines back here because they was operating according to God's holy law. So he knew if he was supposed to been serving God in Israel, he knew he couldn't just get away with all of a sudden having this woman and then leaving her. So what some might do in this instance is, hey, make it like it's the woman's fault, come up with something against her so he can get away from her. And in this case, he would come up with a serious enough charge where they actually would kill this woman for what he is saying. If it's proven. Because what he is saying is, I married this woman and she lied and said, you know, she was a virgin. That's the way y'all presented her to me, as a virgin. But I found out that wasn't the case. See, and that shows you about, even from the woman's standpoint, because we're going to get to that again, but even from the woman's standpoint, that shows you nowadays, hey, ain't no need of going out and doing all kind of stuff. That's wrong, and then you're going to come back and lie later. And there's no need to even do that, because that's double jeopardy. You already messed up if you was fornicating, and somebody fornicated with you, so they was wrong. But we dealing with it from this standpoint, because this is where he giving it to us. So, because this is what he's saying, and the Lord could deal, he'd catch up with the man who did whatever wrong he did too. But in this case, he's dealing with the woman, because the woman then played around, and then she gonna present herself as clean. You know, and women do that to this day. Some of them, they probably won't go that far, what this man portraying here, and say they are virgin, because they know probably ain't nobody going to believe that. Nah, come for real now, come on. How many now? And then the woman be like, well, maybe 1, 2. And then it'd be 15, but nah, that's another thing. But now, what he's saying is the woman could possibly lie that she was a virgin, and then they would address that and find out whether she was or not. So what verse? 17?
17.
Go ahead.
And lo.
Now the father got involved, because the father, before the woman got married, she was with her father, and the father vouched for her being a virgin. So the father would have had some proof in this case, because usually when they did, like if you look at when Jacob married, he thought he was marrying Rachel. He ended up marrying Leah, because the man, Laban, tricked him and slipped Leah on him, and he didn't even know. But it just shows you how the father set that whole scenario up. So the father would have had proof that, hey, Leah was a virgin, and then even after the night they spent, it was at the father's house and all of that. He would have had some proof. So that's what's going on here. The proof is going to be shown. Verse 17.
And lo, he have given occasion of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid.
See, a maid in this case, it mean a virgin. Like some brothers try to say, well, Jesus wasn't born of no virgin. Maid just mean, a young woman. Now, maid stands for a virgin right here. And when it say the prophecy in Isaiah about the Messiah being born of a virgin, that's exactly what it means. It don't mean just any kind of maid. It means, that's what he's saying here. He said, look, lo, this man came, gave a speech against her saying, I found not thy daughter a maid. What does that mean? A virgin. Go ahead.
And yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity.
That's what he turned around and said. This is proof that she was a virgin. This the tokens of her virginity. So we got some proof. Basically, he's saying, look, we got proof the seal had never been broken. So this man is lying. But that shows you it's important for, young girls to wait till it's time. And boys too, but we talking about the girl right here, so that's why I'm addressing that. Go ahead.
And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city.
Okay, and they spread the cloth, because that's where the proof came from, before the elders of the city. Go ahead.
And the elders of the city shall take that man and chastise him.
Now look, that's some reproof right there. That's some rebuke. That's even some stripes they gonna put on him. He said the elders of the city shall take that man and chastise him. See, the Lord has some tough love all the way across the board. Because this man was trying to get away. He went through all this to try to get away from the woman. They lied on the woman. The elders of that city shall take that man and chastise him. Go ahead.
And they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver, and give them unto the father of the damsel.
See, at least they did things right in those days, too. They going to fine them, but they not going to keep the fine. That's how they do it nowadays. Like I heard something the other day, airlines got fined by the FCC, FAA, whatever it is. Airlines got fined because, the passengers being left on the plane for a real long time. Passengers being left on the plane for 3 hours at a time. I done been in that situation. So they said, well, we're going to fine this airlines. What the fine don't go to the passengers? What kind of sense do that make? You ain't trying to even help the ones that's been hurt by it. It shows you it's just the world is just so twisted. Well, at least they did the right thing in this case. They're going to fine the man, but they're going to give the man get a fine to the people that's been damaged, to the woman's father. Because he even tried to lie on them. That's what he said, 19, and they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver. Now, this man had to follow through with that. He was going to be in some more trouble. In other words, he had to take this whooping they put on him. That's what it said, the elders of the city that shall take that man and chastise him. That's some tough love right there. And going to find him 100 shekels of silver. Go ahead.
Because he hath brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel. And she shall be his wife. And he may not put her away all his days.
See, then he had to stay with the woman, because that's really what his goal was. Because men good for that. See, the Lord get everybody too. He get the men and the women. Just like in this case, he got the man because he trying to get away from the woman. And he had to stay married to her all the days of his life. But now, on the other hand, if the woman really was bogus, see, the Lord showed you both sides of the coin. You got some real, real tough love coming. This shows you the Lord don't be messing around. Verse 20.
But if this thing be true, and the tokens of the virginity be not found for the damsel,
go ahead.
Then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her with stones that she die. Because she have wrought folly in Israel, to play the whore in the father's house. So shalt thou put evil away from among you.
See, now, people say, oh, that was so bogus. That's archaic. We don't need to do that. Well, yeah, we know we're not doing that nowadays. But this is in the Bible for a reason. Matter of fact, God ordained this. So we need to pay attention on how God look at things. This wasn't something that the people came up with or that Moses came up with. This was ordained by God. So we at least need to know, first of all, how God look at the situation and the type of judgment he would put on the situation. Then we could understand how serious it is. They would actually have this woman stoned. They would kill her. Why? Because she had laid around and then portrayed herself to be something she was when she got married. That's what really got her in trouble. She claimed to be still a virgin when obviously she wasn't. So it said they shall stone her with stones that she die. Now they got some people still try to do this today, and they look bad on them. They say, oh, them people crazy. They stoning women. They breaking civil rights. But look, one thing about it, this is in the Bible. So it can't be altogether bad. Even though I know it's not time for it now, but I know it can't be altogether bad if it's in the Bible. So that just shows you how the Lord look at it. But now, even though we not stoning nobody, that don't mean everything is okay, and that don't mean there's no type of tough love to deal with each situation. It's still a way to handle bad situations, even though you're not going to stone, because again, it's about the principle. Wrong is still wrong, and the principle is wrong have to be addressed. It have to be dealt with, have to be attempted to be corrected. Like he said, don't suffer sin upon your neighbor. See, and this is love across the board. You say, well, what kind of love was that? They wasn't helping a woman at all. No, they wasn't helping her in this case because she had went too far. But what they was helping somebody else who might do the same thing or might be thinking about doing the same thing. They was helping them. So that was some love for them. That's why he said what at the end of 21? Read that again. Because she had wrought folly in Israel. They would stone her because she wrought folly in Israel, right? To do what?
To play the whore in her father's house.
To play the whore in her father's house. So what were they doing in essence?
So shalt thou put evil away from among you.
Oh, so that's what the goal was. They was getting evil away. So that would be an example. Everybody would look and say, wow, that's how they handle that. I don't want to get caught up in that. And then the nation could stay clean and not get caught up in a bunch of pollution. But now, go to Joshua 7. So they would put evil away. See, and even today, we know it's not time to be trying to stone nobody and kill nobody, because we probably all would be dead. But it's still some type of remedy for each situation. It's still some tough love that can be shown. And again, this is love. Because the Lord said, don't suffer sin upon your neighbor. You need to rebuke him. Joshua 7. And the thing about it again, it's not even personal. You know, you should hate evil. You should hate evil. But it shouldn't be personal. In other words, if I have to tell this brother that he's doing something wrong, you know, I'm not going to take it personal. It's just a job. It's just business. And therefore, I don't have to get personally involved and get emotional and start trying to curse the brother out and get out of my place because, hey, it's just business. It just needs to be addressed because that's what the Lord said. But now, Joshua 7. Just like, notice this case, and we're going to look at some more tough love here. When Israel came out of Egypt and was on their way into the promised land, they had knocked off Jericho, but the Lord gave instructions. That's the thing. People don't want to follow the Lord's instructions and don't think it should be any type of repercussions, and they want to use love. Or they want to use, well, you can't judge me. Look, the Lord is giving you the judgment. The Lord is saying what the judgment is. Somebody is just telling you about it. Joshua 7:1. Go ahead.
But the children of Israel committed a trespass in the accursed thing.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it said the children of Israel committed a trespass in the accursed thing. What was that?
For Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, took of the accursed thing, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against the children of Israel.
So now this guy, Achan, from the tribe of Judah, gave his lineage. He did something that the Lord told them specifically not to do before they went into Jericho. They took over Jericho. The walls fell down. The Lord gave them a great victory, but the Lord didn't want them to take any of the spoil. He said, destroy everything. And that shows you, even in the best of times, somebody would be greedy, somebody would do the wrong thing. They getting ready to get the land of milk and honey that the Lord been promising them for years now. And this brother, he worried about some little coins and some clothing that he see. And the Lord had told them, don't take nothing. Everything in this city is a curse. You destroy it all. This brother saw something. He going to tuck it away and hide it. Well, I can use that. Like the Lord not on the scene. So he took of the accursed thing, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against the children of Israel, right? Skip over to verse 5. Now the Lord is mad. So they go to the next little town, figuring they got an easy victory after they knocked off the big town, Jericho. And they went to that town, and being that the Lord is not with you, see, it don't matter what it looked like, how many numbers you got, and that you should have a victory. If the Lord not with you, you're not going to have it. Verse 5.
And the men of Ai smote of them about 36 men. For they chased them from before the gate, even unto Shebarim, and smote them in the going down. Wherefore the hearts of the people melted and became as water.
See, the men of Ai, a little bitty town, much smaller than Jericho, who they just destroyed. They come out and beat Israel down. Israel started running. They beat them down good. About 36 men died. Go ahead.
And Joshua rent his clothes and fell to the earth upon the face before the ark of the Lord until the eventide. He and the elders of Israel, and put dust upon their heads.
Go ahead.
And Joshua said, Alas.
Okay, so now they mourning and praying to the Lord. And he going to pray to the Lord. He done got dust all over him, down in the dirt, like, Lord, what's going on? How you let this happen? And finally, after he get through praying and stuff, the Lord told him something. We're going to skip to verse 10 and save a little time. He going to tell him what's going on. We know what's going on. Achan has done something wrong. That's why the Lord lets you lose. And that's how the Lord do it. You serve God, God can be on your side and make it go good for you. You don't serve God, God can put some tough love on you, some chastisement for, in this case, the nation of Israel, any nation, or as well for us as individuals. The same thing go across the board. Verse 10.
And the Lord said unto Joshua, Get thee up.
See, he down in the dirt crying, and the Lord finally said, get up off the ground. Get thee up. Go ahead.
Wherefore liest thou upon wherefore liest thou thus upon thy face?
Go ahead.
Israel have sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant which I commanded them.
See, now, and this shows you how the Lord put it in man's hands. The Lord is telling Joshua, look, you got some problems you need to deal with. You sitting over here praying to me. You need to get up and go deal with some issues you got. And he had to show he's going to have to show some tough love here. But it's love for doing things the way God wants you to do it. That don't always mean that it's going to make everybody around you feel good. It's definitely not getting ready to make Achan feel good. Just like if that woman had lied about being a virgin, it was going to be love for the right way when she got stoned, but it wasn't going to make her feel good. It wasn't going to be mushy for her love. Go ahead.
For they have even taken of the accursed thing, and have also stolen and dissembled also, and they have put it even among their own stuff.
See, he told them exactly what happened. Verse 12.
Therefore the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies, but turned their backs before their enemies.
He said, that's why y'all lost. Go ahead.
Because they were accursed. Neither will I be with you anymore,